and welcome to Radiant Heart Yoga. I'm Jane and I'm going to share with you a shoulder releasing restorative yoga practice. I've just walked my son down to school and it's raining and it's windy and it's cold and I could just feel my shoulders creeping up towards my ear. So I'm going to do this shoulder opening practice and I'd love to share it with you. So let's get started. And you're going to lie down on your belly and you're going to extend your right arm out to the right. Take your left hand by your side underneath your elbow and then you're going to roll towards this right arm and make sure that you've got the right side of your head rested on the floor. So your head wants to be relaxed all of the time. So you can stay here. You can bend your knees a little bit. That sort of rolls you. You're going to feel less if you do that. You can have your legs straight. But just let yourself take about a minute here in this first stage, so that you can start to relax into the shape and be still for about a minute before you decide whether you want to go any deeper. Feeling this stretch in the front of the shoulder, so around where your pectoral muscles are, well, pectoral muscle on this right side, and also I can feel it in the upper arm on this right side, and even it's going into the space between my shoulder blades now. So you can stay here or if you want to feel a little bit more, if you could go a little bit deeper, you can bend this back foot and have that foot behind you, and maybe take this left hand, your other hand, and rest it behind your back somewhere. And start to be more aware of your senses turning inwards as you distance yourself from whatever's going on, whatever distractions there are around you potentially, and notice what's going on in your mind. Does your mind feel as though it's rushing and still attached to the busyness of day-to-day life? And can you start to bring some impact to that, so that you start to slow your breath down and smooth your breath out? And then you can either stay here, or if you can go a little bit deeper, you can bend both knees so that your legs are sort of in a bridge pose and this arm is still behind you. You want to make sure that your head is on the floor. And some people may be able to reach back and clasp fingers, but that is, for me, unless I'm feeling really open in my shoulders, that doesn't feel relaxing enough for this kind of practice. And just take another 3 breaths here. And then slowly I'm going to roll out so that I can repeat this on the other side. So because I've got this wall here, I'm just going to keep over to this side of my mat. And then same thing, rolling towards the left arm now. You're going to head down on the floor, just this left shoulder, so that you can feel the stretch but it's manageable. And then again, like we did on the other side, you're going to close your eyes and you're going to just stay for about a minute in this first stage, first version. Think about your breath again now. Make it really slow and really smooth. This feels so good if you've been rounding your shoulders like me against the cold and the weather, or just in front of the computer, or anything that you've been doing. This is a really lovely pose to reverse that effect. You can hear the wind. It's a very windy where we live anyway, but definitely it's quite strong today. And then, just like on the other side, you can stay here, or you can bring this top leg behind, maybe take your top arm behind. Making any adjustments, just checking that this left arm isn't, your body isn't allowing it to pull down towards your hip. Body's really good at finding ways to reduce what you can feel. And then, if it feels alright, maybe if you did it on the other side, bending both knees. And you're rolling as much of this right shoulder down towards the floor. It's a really big stretch here. And what's great about this pose as well is that you're stimulating underneath your armpit and the front of your chest, where you have a very large amount of lymph nodes. So that is going to help with flushing out any toxins, any stagnant energy that's got trapped in your shoulders. And just take another 4 or 5 breaths here. And then from here, you're going to roll back, you're going to press up, and then thread this arm through and roll onto your back. So what you're going to do from here is come towards the right side of your mat, and then you're going to roll to the right and bring this left hand up your back, trying to keep it more towards the shoulder blade, and then rolling back onto your back. So once you've got your mat underneath you, it's possible to kind of inch your hand a little bit further up. And I like to have my knees bent. You can have your legs however you want. I like to have them bent because it kind of pushes the weight back so that I can feel more here. And then it's up to you. With this right hand, you can keep it just resting on your belly, or you can take your right hand down the middle of your back, and you're not trying to touch your fingers together. If they do touch, great, but that's not the aim of it. So you've got a nice tricep stretch in this right arm, and you've got this internal rotation in the left arm or left shoulder, and also you're stretching your wrist. So this is like a bit of a weird, unless you're constantly putting body lotion in the middle of your back or sun cream or something like that, we very rarely would do this kind of action with the arms. But it's all part of your body's range of movement, so we need to keep exploring the full range of movement so that you stay nice and balanced. Just take another 5 or 6 breaths here, dropping the weight through your feet. And if you feel no pins and needles or any kind of pain in this bottom arm, you can slide your hand down, just roll back to the right, slide your hand a little bit further down. This top hand, use this elbow to help you roll back to the right and release that left arm. Give it a little bit of a shake out. And then roll, so I'm going to come over to this side of my mat, this left side, and then roll to the left, and now reach my right hand up and roll back. And then inch that hand a little bit further. Now I've got the grip of the mat underneath me, and over towards the right shoulder blade. And again, any position with your legs, but try and mirror what you did on the other side. And then you can keep this left hand here, or you can reach your left hand down your back. Just make any adjustments that you need. This side is always a little bit, well, it was always tight anyway, tighter than the other side when I do this position with the arms. But then, because I broke my wrist about a year ago, it's even more tricky now. So when I do this practice for myself, just for myself, I would stay a lot longer on this side so that I get to work deeper into the tightness and the stiffness that is still residue there from the injury, and just bring some more balance. So you definitely don't want it to have like massive imbalances from one shoulder to the other. That's going to definitely affect your neck, it's going to affect the whole of your spine, really, your arms. Think about where can you release, where can you relax? Can you just slightly adjust your position so that you create more ease for yourself? And this is definitely not a comfortable position. So it's more work to relax into it. It takes more commitment, more awareness to relax into it. These positions, these poses have done such amazing things with my wrists, and the whole of like the knock-on effect of injury into the elbow and the shoulder and everything. So I was slowly release and then roll back to the side, free up this right hand, just do a few circles, shake the hand out, and then from it I'm going to roll all the way onto my belly, and we're going to stretch the back of the shoulder now. So I'm going to take my right arm and thread it through, and this is where it's quite nice to have a blanket to rest your forehead on. And then I'm going to take this left hand behind me. So it's pretty similar to what we've just done in the back, but you can stay with this right arm just extended out to the left, or you can wrap this right hand around towards the left scapula. And then you can even wriggle this left hand up towards your right. But find a position where you can still relax into it, so you've not gone to your deepest stretch right away. And maybe after a moment or two you can just slide a little bit further into the stretch. And we're going to do a few different versions of this kind of movement, this position. So I'm going to release my left hand from behind my back. Just move the blanket out of the way. I'm going to make a fist with this right hand, and then I'm going to pull this right hand in towards my shoulder and rest on my fist with the right side of my head. And then again, taking this left arm behind the back. And it doesn't matter whether you're not able to get up towards your shoulder blade, you can just wrap it behind your back. You know, it doesn't actually feel massively different. Just keep scanning sort of all the way through your body, so you're not holding any tension in your legs or in your glutes, just throat nice and relaxed. And then the last one is you keep your right arm over to the left and then thread your left arm behind it and walk your hands as far away as you can from the centre and rest your chin on your arms. So I'm going to stay here, you're going to stay here. Just resting here, relaxing. Devil, my beautiful Devil's decided to join us, but he usually stands in front of the camera, so I'm just going to let him out. He's very brave. It's very windy and cold and horrible out there. So, coming back into this position. And you're trying to get your hands so that they're the same distance away from the midline, so that you're correcting any imbalances. And for some people, this is not a very big stretch. So if you do want to take it so that you feel a little bit more stretch, you can curl your toes under and just walk yourself forwards so that your forehead rests either on your mat, or this is another time when you could use the blanket, so that you're taking more of your own body weight through into the arms. And then you've one more option. You can stay here, you can hold opposite shoulders, or you can slide your elbows forwards and come into an eagle bind. And it tends to tip you to one side, so you can always curl the toes under on that side, because you're going to do it on the other side as well, so you stay nice and balanced. And you're just reaching your elbows forwards and using your forearms like a little pillow, like a little wave rest in place for your head. And then just check that you're not creating any tension in your legs. And just take about another 5 or 6 breaths. So when you put all of those different versions together, you end up being, in this position with your shoulders for maybe about 10 minutes, which is plenty of time. And then release. And I'm just going to take a little pause between. I'm just going to stretch back into child's pose. And maybe just gently roll my head from side to side. So what you want to check for is that when you are focusing on your shoulders, you're not creating additional tension in your neck. And then slide it back down. So I'm just going to do that on the other side. I'm going to take this left arm through. And like I did on the other side, find something, forehead on. And then just taking my right arm up my back. So making any adjustments first, getting all the fidgets out of your body. Make sure that you're not clenching your jaw with your body in this position. And really drop into your breath. Let go of anything that might still be lingering, any distractions, any stories still in your mind. Just let your thoughts be spacious and relaxed. And then you can stay, or you can bring this left hand down towards the middle of your back, and maybe take your right arm a little bit further up. Taking another 4 breaths here. And always know that you can double up the times on these poses. You can halve the times if you've not got, a lot of time to spend. And then lifting up. I'm going to just move this away, and then I'm going to make a fist with this left hand and pull that left fist back towards my shoulder, and then kind of hold it in place by resting my head into this fist, and then take this right hand, so it can be just around the waistband of your pants, or you can take it a little bit further up. And just see how it affects the sensations and the stretch you can feel in your shoulder, in your wrist and your hand. Try and drop your head so that you're as relaxed as you can be. Finding a comfortable position, because when you're resting on your fist, it's not the most comfortable thing to rest on. So you can always put a blanket over your face so that you can rest on that. Keep dropping this right shoulder down. Just relaxing wherever you can. Enjoying the stillness, enjoying the quiet. start to make your way out. I'm going to keep this left arm extended out towards the right, and then thread my right arm underneath my left. So again, this left hand is already quite far across, so I'm going to try and stretch this underneath arm, this right arm, out as far as the left one, and then rest my chin in my arms and try and soften the shoulders, try and soften the legs, so there's no gripping, there's no holding in your body, everything is releasing. And you can turn your palms to face up. Some people prefer that position. I like to have my palms facing down only because it helps with this internal rotation of the arm in the shoulder socket. It just seems like that's not how my body wants to be. But we're all different, and that might suit you very well. And again, if you want to go deeper, you can curl your toes under and just kind of walk yourself forwards, like inch yourself forwards bit by bit as you continue practicing these, poses, so that eventually you can feel and you can see the contrast between maybe this first time that you've done the practice and a few times later. And then you can stay there if you don't fancy the eagle bind, or you can wrap your hands around and just gently pull on your shoulder blades, or you can come into your eagle bind, so you're holding onto your left thumb with your right hand, and your right arm is wrapped around another time. And then I'm just going to curl my right toes under this time and just get myself so that I feel like balance, so that I can relax into it. Now you're sliding your arms away until you can feel it in your triceps as well. But one of the heads of your tricep muscles goes and attaches to your scapula. So it's all important, all the muscles around the shoulders and into the arms and into the sides of the torso and the shoulders. All of those muscles are going to have an impact on what happens in your shoulders and your neck. So there is another video, a restorative practice for the neck. If you want to click on the link above and go to that at some point. And just take a few more breaths. Bring my arms underneath, and I'm just going to do some figure 8 movements with my neck and head, just so that I can make sure that there's no tension in my neck and shoulders. Go in the opposite direction, my circles. Well, no, they're not for circles. It's like a number 8. But turned on its side. That's the shape that I'm tracing with my head. And then from here, you're going to roll over, and you can grab your blanket, you can put it underneath your head, you can cover yourself up with it, and you're going to come into your Shavasana. So you can keep your knees bent for any lower back issues, or you can you can even roll your blanket up underneath your knees. But I'm quite cold because I've not had the fire on this morning in this room. So I'm going to cover myself up with my blanket. Excuse me. And then just take excuse excuse me, a few deep breaths in and really exaggerated breaths out so that you can relax completely. And just separate your feet a little bit. Let your legs and your feet relax. Let your shoulders, definitely your shoulders. And let yourself feel any sensation, heat, or anything that's tingling, anything in your shoulders from your practice. Feel that dissipate as you lie here, and then give yourself as long as you can afford to spend in your Shavasana. Really important pose to finish your practice. Just giving your body the chance to immerse and soak up the healing of the poses. And I'm going to come out now, but as I said, I encourage you to stay as long as you can. Just hit pause on your video and stay a bit longer. So just when you're ready, lower your knees in and roll to the side and pressing yourself up. And wrapping. So I hope that you enjoyed that video and that you come back to it whenever you know, regularly, especially if you do have any issues with your shoulders like I do. I've got scoliosis in my spine, so this is an area that I have to keep constantly checking and giving a lot of TLC to. So if you enjoy that video, then subscribe and leave me any comments, any suggestions, and I shall see you next time.